6972. When operating VFR in a military operations area, MOA, a pilot A. must operate only when military activity is not conducted. B. should exercise extreme caution when military activity is being conducted. C. must obtain a clearance from the controlling agency prior to entering the MOA. The correct answer is B. When a pilot is operating VFR in an MOA, it is important to exercise caution and remain vigilant, particularly when military activities are taking place. While pilots are not required to obtain specific clearances to enter an MOA, they should be aware that military aircraft may be conducting training exercises or maneuvers within the designated airspace. The purpose of an MOA is to separate military training activities from instrument flight rules, IFR, traffic, but it does not prohibit VFR operations. Therefore, pilots can still legally fly within an MOA. However, it is crucial to be aware that military aircraft may be operating in the area, and their activities might involve high-speed maneuvers, low-altitude flights, or other dynamic actions. Exercising extreme caution means remaining alert, maintaining good situational awareness, and being prepared to adjust course or altitude if necessary to avoid potential conflicts with military aircraft. It is essential to scan the airspace diligently, use all available resources, such as NOTAMs or other flight information sources, to gather information about military activities and be prepared to react accordingly. By exercising caution, VFR pilots can enhance the safety of their flight operations and help ensure proper separation from military aircraft operating in the MOA. It is crucial to prioritize situational awareness and adhere to recommended practices when operating in areas where military activities are being conducted. 6975. If a military training route has flights operating at or below 1,500 feet AGL, it will be designated by A. VR and a 3-digit number only. B. IR or VR and a 4-digit number. C. IR or VR and a 3-digit number. The correct answer is B. Military training routes are designated corridors of airspace used for military flight operations, including low-altitude navigation, tactical training, and other military exercises. The route designations follow a specific format to indicate the type of training route and provide a unique identifier. In this case, if flights are operating at or below 1,500 feet AGL, the route designation will include either IR, Instrument Flight Rules, or VR, Visual Flight Rules, followed by a 4-digit number. The combination of IR or VR with a 4-digit number is used to identify and differentiate the specific military training route. The inclusion of IR indicates that the route may be used for instrument-based training activities, while VR signifies that the route is primarily for visual-based training. The 4-digit number provides a unique identifier for the specific training route within the designated airspace. By utilizing this designation format, military training routes can be easily identified and communicated among military pilots, air traffic control, and other airspace users. It helps ensure safe and efficient coordination of military training activities while providing clear identification and separation from other airspace structures or routes. 6969. Flight through a restricted area should not be accomplished unless the pilot has A. filed an IFR flight plan. B. received prior authorization from the controlling agency. C. received prior permission from the commanding officer of the nearest military base. The correct answer is B. Restricted areas are designated portions of airspace where certain activities, such as military operations or national security-related activities, take place. These areas are established to safeguard airspace and protect sensitive locations or assets. To ensure the safety and security of all aircraft operating in the vicinity, pilots must obtain prior authorization from the controlling agency responsible for the restricted area. This authorization is necessary before entering the airspace defined as a restricted area. The controlling agency typically has the authority to grant or deny access to the restricted area based on the specific requirements, activities, or restrictions in place. They have the necessary information and situational awareness to determine whether it is safe for an aircraft to enter the area. By obtaining prior authorization from the controlling agency, pilots ensure compliance with airspace regulations, maintain safety, and respect the security considerations associated with restricted areas. It is crucial to adhere to these procedures to avoid potential violations or compromising the integrity of restricted airspace. 6970. A warning area is airspace of defined dimensions established. A. For training purposes in the vicinity of military bases. B. From 3 nautical miles outward from the coast of the U. C. Over either domestic or international waters for the purpose of separating military from civilian aircraft. The correct answer is B. Warning areas are areas of airspace that extend from 3 nautical miles, (m) outward from the coast of the United States. They are typically located over domestic waters and serve the purpose of alerting pilots to potential hazards or activities that may be taking place in that particular area. Unlike restricted areas or prohibited areas, which have specific restrictions or entry requirements, warning areas do not have any regulatory prohibitions on aircraft entry. However, pilots are advised to exercise caution and be aware of potential military activities or other hazardous operations that could occur within these areas. The establishment of warning areas allows the military to conduct activities, such as testing military equipment or conducting training exercises, while providing an alert to civilian pilots about the potential presence of military operations near the coast. It's important for pilots to remain vigilant and maintain situational awareness when operating near warning areas. Although entry is not restricted, being aware of the existence of warning areas helps pilots avoid potential conflicts or disruptions due to military activities that may be occurring in the vicinity. 6973. Flight through a military operations area, MOA, is A. Never permitted. B. Permitted anytime, but caution should exercise of military activity. C. Permitted at certain times, but only with prior permission from the appropriate authority. The correct answer is B. When it comes to flying through a military operations area, MOA, it is important to note that such flights are permitted. MOAs are designated portions of airspace established for military training activities and are not off-limits to civilian aircraft. However, pilots should exercise caution when flying through an MOA due to the potential presence of military aircraft conducting training exercises or maneuvers. It is important to remain vigilant, maintain situational awareness, and be prepared to adjust course or altitude if necessary to avoid conflicts with military aircraft. Unlike restricted areas or prohibited areas, which may have specific entry requirements or restrictions, pilots can freely fly through an MOA. Nevertheless, understanding and respecting the purpose of the MOA, along with the potential presence of military aircraft, is crucial for maintaining flight safety and effective coordination between military and civilian aviation. By exercising caution, pilots can ensure the safety of their flight operations while operating in an MOA and help avoid any potential conflicts with military aircraft conducting training activities.